Welcome to this short video. We're going to start high kneeling, but you can do this standing or even seated, cross-legged if you want to. Stretch side to side. You can put a bit of pressure through the ball. If you don't have a red ball, use a cushion or a rolled up towel, or just leave a space between your hands. We take the stretch a little bit further each way as we go side to side, opening out the palms each way. Do as many as you need. I'm showing you a few short snippets here, so take as long as you need. Add a few more repetitions. Folding yourself forwards. If you're standing, do this like a roll down, stretching your hands to the floor. Turning side on so you can see, reaching the arms overhead, rolling the ball out in front of you, curling the forehead towards the knees. Hold it for as long as you need until you feel a stretch. Repeat as many times as you want. The idea is to loosen out the back, getting ready for the next exercises. Remember, if you don't have a little ball, you can use a cushion or a towel. It's just for something to lean against. So we're placing the ball onto the shins, sitting up as tall as you can, feeling your sit bones into the floor. Tucking the chin to the chest and tucking the tailbone as you breathe out and curve the spine away from the thighs. Breathing in to lengthen. Breathing out to roll back. Breathing in to pull the ball into the legs and straighten out the spine. Try and think about the length coming through the back of the head and neck rather than poking the chin up to the ceiling. Lifting the ball off the shins now, stretching the legs a little further away if that feels more comfortable. Start to take a little roll back. We'll show the easier version first, just tilting off the sit bones, inhaling to rise back up. If this feels good and you want to go a little bit further, we'll show the more progressed version, starting to roll a little bit further down towards your waistband or even towards your mid-back, breathing in to come all the way back up. Don't worry if the toes start to lift off the ground in this exercise. You're aiming to do about 10 repetitions, but build up to them. You don't have to start with 10. As you progress through the exercise, you may need to get shallower, you may need to move less, or you may start to increase your range of motion. Add a little raise of the arms as you rise back up to seated position and drop the arms before you roll back down towards the mat. The goal here is to keep the movement smooth, flowing up and down. Breathing out to curl back. Breathing in to rise back up. We're adding a little rotation now. Again, you can do this in the easier version just with the tiny tilt of the hips. This is the slightly more advanced version with the middle of the back on the ground. Taking a moment to pause in the center before you take the ball side to side. See if you can go 10 times each side before coming all the way up. Fold yourself forwards and stretch the ball towards your feet. We're going to now take the ball to just behind the mid-back. If you don't have a ball, again, you can try and use a towel, anything just to prop you up. And we're using this position, holding the hands behind the thighs if you want to, alternatively stretching the arms out. We're trying to create a little gap beneath the lower back and the floor. Pelvic tilting, trying to soften the back down to the floor, will engage the stomach muscles. You might not get full contact with the ground, but just use your breath, tilt the hips, and feel as if you're squeezing the air out of the ball as you rock the hips forwards and backwards. Taking the hands behind the back of the head, roll so that the ball is now behind your shoulder blades. From here, start to extend over the ball, lengthening out your spine. Use it like a stretch. Start to feel the ribs opening out. Exhaling as you go back. Inhaling to lift from the stomach, curling all the way up. Feel the diaphragm pull you up off the ball. Inhaling, allowing your lower back to soften as you curl up. Exhaling to lengthen the spine onto the ball. Add a little rotation as you curl up. Inhale to the center and lengthen the spine. Exhale, rotate and curl up. Into the center and extend. I'm going quite fast through these exercises again. You can slow them down. Do as many repetitions as you want to do. You might want to start taking that extension a little bit further over the ball, starting to allow the head to come slowly closer towards the mat. Don't force this if it doesn't feel comfortable for you. It's a good stretch through the chest and the upper back. Breathing in as you lift up, breathing out as you curl back. And starting to stretch yourselves all the way back up. Use the hands, step the feet further away and curl yourselves up off the ball. Ready for the next phase. Placing the ball between the knees. Again, use a cushion if you want to. Curl yourselves down onto the mat. Neutral spine position if you're comfortable for it. Little gap underneath the lower back. If you'd rather to imprint the spine, softening the back into the floor, that's fine. Lifting the legs into tabletop position. And then with the hands pressing into the ground, take the knees from one side to the other. You can go all the way down to the floor if you want to, or you can move a little bit less if your back's feeling tight. Do as many as you want, just loosening out the lower back. From here, take the hands to behind the back of the head, tuck the chin, lift the head, neck, and importantly, the shoulder blades. Start to tap both toes down to the floor as you breathe out. This time we're pressing the lower back gently down into the mat. Lifting the head really helps engage this. If all the way to the floor is too far, move the feet a little bit less. You'll see us start to adjust. Start to move the feet just a fraction. So the smaller version, slightly easier, toes just moving a little bit away from the body. Very important not to just flop the heels towards the bottom, aim the toes towards the floor. We're going for about 10 repetitions here and then pulling the knees into the chest, softening the back to the ground, having a little stretch before the next phase. So, phase 2, hands behind the back of the head, knees lifted. Tucking the chin, lifting the head, neck and shoulders once more. This time a reverse curl. Pulling the knees in towards the nose. If you get a little bit of lift through the tailbone, absolutely fine. If not, it doesn't matter. The back is soft to the floor, the knees are pulling in. Again, I'm showing you a slightly more gentle variation, moving the knees a little bit less. Again, try for 10 before you lower your head and relax everything to the floor. Final stage. Head lifts again, tucking the chin, curling the head towards your knees. Legs start in tabletop, and as you breathe out, extend the legs away, lowering the head towards the mat. Careful here to keep the back in contact with the floor. The higher you point your toes, the easier it is for your back. Breathe out as you lower the head and extend the legs. Breathe in to lift from the diaphragm. Again, once you've completed 10, draw the knees in towards your chest. So we're going to tie it all together. We're aiming to do 10 repetitions. I'm showing you 5 on this version. See how you get on. Tuck the chin, lift the head, neck and shoulders, starting with the toe taps. Breathe out, toes to the floor. Breathe in, knees over the hips. Breathe out, knees to nose, curling into your reverse curl. And then extending the legs and lowering the head for the final phase. That's part 1. Toe tap for 2. Reverse curl, second set. Extend the legs, lower the head. Breathing in to come back, going again, toes down. Legs to tabletop. Knees curling in. Back to tabletop. Extend the legs as you breathe out, lower the head. And coming back. Toes down. Lifting the knees up to tabletop, keeping the back soft to the floor. Reverse curl. Extend the legs, lower the head. Drawing back. Final set. Toes to the floor. Knees lift. Reverse curl. And release. Extend the legs. Lower the head. And come all the way back. Plant the feet to the floor. Remove the ball and extend the legs. Stretch everything out. Just relaxing here, paddling the feet, circling the ankles. And then bringing yourselves up. Curl all the way back up to seated for the next phase. Well done.